The night was colder than usual. The wind cut through the empty streets like sharp ice. Under a broken bridge, a 15-year-old homeless boy named Evan Hawley curled his body as tight as he could. His clothes were old and thin. His shoes had holes. His hands were shaking nonstop. He had only one blanket, torn and dirty, but it was the only thing that kept him alive during nights like this. Evan blew warm air on his fingers, hoping it would help. It didn't. He had eaten nothing since morning. His stomach felt empty, almost painful. He closed his eyes and tried to sleep, hoping morning would come fast, but then a strange, soft blue light touched the corner of his eyes. Evan opened them. Again, at first, he thought it was a street lamp flickering. But this light was different. It moved. It pulsed. It looked almost alive. It came from behind the trash bins near an old wall. Evan sat up slowly. Fear and curiosity pushed against each other inside him. Normally, he avoided anything strange, because strange things usually meant danger. But tonight, he felt something else, a sense that someone needed help. He stood up, wrapped his blanket around his shoulders, and walked toward the glowing light. His breath came out in white clouds. His legs felt heavy. When he reached the bins, he froze. There, lying on the cold ground, was a girl, but not a human girl. Her skin was pale blue, almost transparent. Her hair looked like silver smoke. Her eyes were closed, and her body was shaking weakly. She was wearing a suit made of glowing lines and unknown symbols. A dim blue aura flickered around her like a dying flame. Evan whispered, "What? Are you?" She didn't answer. Her breathing was slow and painful, like each breath hurt her. She looked cold, colder than him. He could see frost forming over her fingers. She wasn't going to survive the night. Evan looked around. There was no one else. No police. No doctor. No help. He was just a homeless kid. He had nothing. But even then, seeing her like this made his chest hurt. She looked scared, alone, dying. Evan knelt beside her. "Hey, can you hear me?" Her eyes opened a little. For a moment he saw them, bright silver eyes full of fear and exhaustion. She whispered something, but the words weren't English. They sounded like soft bells, like some strange foreign language. Evan didn't understand, but he knew one thing. She needed warmth. He looked down at his blanket. It was his only protection from the night. Without it, he would freeze. He knew that, but he also knew she would die without help. He bit his lip. His hands shook, not from the cold, but from the decision he had to make. Slowly, he pulled the blanket off his shoulders. The cold hit him instantly. It felt like ice water running through his blood. He gently placed the blanket over her small, shaking body. At first, she didn't react. But then her silver eyes opened again, wider this time. She stared at him, confused, shocked, as if she had never seen such an act of kindness before. Evan forced a small smile. "It's okay. You need it more." Her hand lifted weakly and touched the edge of the blanket. The blue aura around her flickered brighter for a second, almost like she was thanking him. Evan sat back on the stone ground, hugging his arms for warmth. The cold bit into his skin again and again, but he didn't take the blanket back. For a long moment, neither of them moved. The only sound was the wind and her slow breaths. Then something strange happened. The girl raised her hand slightly. A small glowing symbol formed in the air, a circle with lines around it, like a tiny star. The symbol floated, shining softly. Evan watched with wide eyes, unsure if he was dreaming. The symbol moved toward him, stopping just above his chest. It felt warm, like gentle sunlight. Evan gasped. It didn't burn. It comforted him. Like the warmth he had just given her was coming back in a different form. The girl whispered again in her strange language. Her voice was so soft that it felt like it was fading away. The symbol slowly sank into Evan's chest, leaving a warm pulse inside him. The blue aura around the girl vanished gradually. Along with her, one moment she was there under the blanket. The next moment, her body dissolved into small fragments of light, floating upward like fireflies, then disappearing into the night air. Evan stared at the empty ground. The blanket was gone. The light was gone. The girl was gone. Was she real? Or was he hallucinating from hunger and cold? He pressed a hand to his chest. The warmth from the symbol was still there, steady, soft, and real. Something had happened. Something big, but Evan was too tired and cold to think more. He leaned back against the wall and closed his eyes. His body shook without the blanket, but he whispered to himself, "I hope she's okay, wherever she went." He didn't know that tomorrow his life would change forever, because in less than 12 hours, 200 alien warriors would arrive on Earth, looking for the boy who saved their princess. Evan barely slept through the night. Without his blanket, the cold felt like needles on his skin. His teeth shook nonstop and his body felt weak. But strangely, the soft warm pulse inside his chest, the glow the alien girl left behind, kept him alive till morning. When the first light touched the sky, Evan opened his eyes slowly. The world looked the same as always. Gray, cold, and quiet. Cars rushed far away on the main road. People walked past without seeing him, just like every other day. He rubbed his arms, trying to warm himself, and whispered, maybe that alien girl wasn't real. There was no blanket, no glowing symbol, no sign she ever existed. Only that warm feeling inside his chest. Evan stood up, stretched his sore legs, and walked toward the city square. He usually went there to find leftover food. His stomach growled loudly. He hoped he could find even a half-eaten sandwich. The city square was crowded as usual. People hurried around, talking on phones, walking fast, worrying about their own problems. Evan blended into the background like a ghost. No one cared about a homeless boy, but something strange happened. Birds suddenly flew away from the trees, all at once. Dogs started barking. A hot breeze moved through the air, even though the weather was cold. Evan paused. That's weird. Then, the sky darkened, slowly at first. And then suddenly, like someone switched off the sun, people stopped walking. Some took out their phones to record. A child pointed up and screamed, "Mom!" Look, the clouds began to move in a perfect circle, spinning around a bright center. Light cracked open the sky like glass. A deep humming vibration filled the air, low, powerful, impossible to ignore. Evan felt the warm pulse in his chest grow stronger. Something, or someone, was coming. Then the light formed into a giant ring in the sky. The crowd gasped. A woman shouted, "Is that a portal? Is this a terrorist attack?" Evan stepped back. No, this is something else. A massive shadow appeared inside the ring, and then another. And then hundreds more. One by one, they stepped out of the sky. Tall, armored warriors, shining metallic suits, blue and silver helmets. Each carried long glowing spears. Their armor looked like flowing light and steel mixed together. People screamed and ran in every direction. Shops closed. Cars crashed. Alarms started ringing everywhere. But the warriors didn't attack anyone. Instead, they descended, slowly landing around the city square, forming a giant circle, a circle with one empty spot in the center, right where Evan stood. His heart jumped. No, this can't be for me. A deep, powerful voice echoed from above. Locate the boy. Evan's knees felt weak. Another voice answered. We sense the royal mark. It is here. The warm symbol inside Evan's chest pulsed again, brighter, stronger. Like a heartbeat he couldn't control. The alien warriors all moved at once, marching toward him with heavy steps that shook the ground. People ran even faster now, terrified. They hid behind cars, inside buildings, recording from far away, but the warriors ignored everyone else. They only looked at Evan. He took a step back. Wait, I didn't do anything. The tallest warrior, wearing a cape made of shimmering blue energy, walked forward. His armor had royal markings, glowing softly. His helmet opened, revealing a stern but noble face. He stared directly at Evan. Evan felt small, weak, scared. The warrior spoke loudly. You are the human who saved our princess. Gasps filled the air. Someone whispered, Princess. What princess? Evan shook his head in confusion. I don't understand. She needed help. I only gave her a blanket. The warrior placed one hand on his chest, right where the glowing symbol remained. A burst of light appeared. The same symbol Evan saw last night. The star-shaped circle glowed brightly on the warrior's hand. Everyone watching fell silent. Warrior knelt. All 200 alien soldiers behind him knelt too. In perfect unison. People screamed. Others recorded, shocked. Some fainted. But Evan stood there frozen, unable to move. The warrior lowered his head and said, By the order of Princess Serial, heir to the Zirian Empire, we swear our respect, our loyalty, and our protection to you. Evan's heart pounded. Princess Serial? Was that the girl from last night? He whispered softly, She was a princess. Yes, the warrior answered. She was dying. You saved her without knowing who she was, without wanting anything in return. Another warrior added, For that act of kindness, you are now under the protection of the royal guard. Evan tried to speak, but his voice broke. I don't want trouble. I just tried to help. The leader shook his head. You changed everything. Before Evan could ask what that meant, a loud alarm blasted across the sky. The light ring shook violently. Cracks of red lightning tore across it. The leader's face turned serious. They found us. Evan blinked. Who found you? The leader pointed toward the tearing sky. The ones who tried to kill the princess. A second fleet, dark, massive, terrifying, ripped out of the sky, weapons glowing red. People screamed again. The warrior shouted, To positions! Protect! The boy at all costs. Evan felt the warm symbol surge inside him. As the biggest alien battle in Earth's history began around him, the city square shook with fear and noise. Alarms screamed. People hid behind broken cars and inside shops. Above them, two alien forces faced each other, one shining in silver-blue armor, the other dark, spiked, and filled with red lights. But Evan, the homeless boy, stood frozen in the middle of the chaos. He could hear his heartbeat louder than anything else. The leader of the silver-blue warriors, the one who had kneeled to him, stepped closer. His face was calm but serious. Evan Hale, he said slowly, you must understand who you saved last night. Evan swallowed hard. She was your princess, right? Yes, Princess Serial, the leader replied. Daughter of the Zirian Empire, the future ruler of our galaxy. Evan blinked. But she looked like she was dying. The leader nodded. She was. The enemy destroyed her royal ship. She escaped by using an emergency jump pod. It brought her to Earth, wounded, cold and alone. Evan looked down at his hands. The warmth in his chest pulsed again, as if it knew its own story. But why Earth? Evan asked. Why here? The leader hesitated, then spoke quietly. Because Earth is a forbidden world. No alien is allowed to enter. Even enemies avoid it. That is why she came. Hoping she would be safe. Evan frowned. Safe? But nobody helped her except me. The leader eyed him carefully. Exactly. Before Evan could ask more, the ground shook violently. A red beam shot from the enemy fleet and exploded in the sky. The silver-blue warriors raised a protective shield around Evan. One shouted, Sir, we must move him. The enemy is preparing a ground strike. The leader raised a hand to silence him. "We cannot leave yet. The boy deserves answers." The ground trembled again, but the leader continued. "Last night when Princess Serial met you, she believed she would die. She had lost all hope." Evan remembered her weak breath, her pale icy skin, her trembling hands. His chest tightened. The leader spoke softer now, almost like telling a sacred truth. "In our culture, there is an ancient belief when a dying royal meets a stranger, their heart shows its true nature." He looked at Evan directly. And your heart showed something rare, something powerful." Evan raised an eyebrow. "I don't understand." "You had nothing," the leader explained. "No family, no home, no warm clothes, no reason to help her. And yet, you gave her the only thing you had left." Evan remembered how cold he felt after removing his blanket. How scared he was, but also how right it felt to help her. "You saved the future of our empire," the leader said. "Not with weapons, not with power, but with kindness." Evan felt embarrassed. "I just didn't want her to die alone." The leader nodded with deep respect. "That is why Princess Serial marked you." Evan blinked. "Marked me?" The leader raised his hand. The same glowing star-shaped symbol Evan saw last night appeared on the leader's palm. The symbol floated toward Evan's chest and glowed brightly. Gasps came from soldiers and humans watching from a distance. "That symbol," the leader explained, "is the royal bond mark. It is given only when a royal life is saved by pure selflessness." Evan touched his chest, feeling the warm pulse. "So this thing is important? Important?" The leader almost smiled. "It is sacred. It means the princess's life is forever connected to yours. Her spirit trusts you." Evan took a step back. "But I'm just a normal boy. I sleep under bridges. I eat leftovers. Why would a princess trust me?" The leader replied calmly, "Because you did something no royal could ever do. You saw her not as a princess, not as an alien, but as a dying girl who needed help." Another warrior bowed his head. "Among our people, that makes you more noble than any king." Evan stared at the glowing symbol, his mind spinning. What happens now? Why are those monsters here? The leader's face hardened as he looked at the dark enemy fleet. "They are called the Krell Dominion. Cruel, violent, and hungry for power. They want to take Princess Serial and use her royal blood to control our empire." Evan felt his stomach tighten. "So they're here for her?" "Yes," the leader said. "But when she escaped to Earth, they followed. When she marked you, the Krell sensed the bond. Now they want you too. Me. Why me?" "Because if they kill the person she bonded with," the leader said grimly, "the princess will lose her royal power." Evan stepped back, his heart hammered. "So I'm in danger because I helped her?" "You are in danger," the leader corrected, "because you became important." Before Evan could answer, the sky flashed red. A huge Krell ship moved downward, firing energy beams at the city. The silver-blue warriors formed a wall around Evan. The leader shouted, "Prepare for battle. Protect the bonded boy," Evan yelled. "Wait. What about the princess? Where is she now?" The leader finally looked at him with something like pride. "She lives because of you. And she is coming." Just then, the warm symbol in Evan's chest flared brighter, so bright he had to close his eyes. A voice echoed inside his mind. "Evan, I am returning." The princess. Her voice. Real. Alive. And coming back to him. The sky tore open like a giant wound. Red lightning cracked across the clouds, and a new fleet dropped out of the dark portal, black, heavy, and shaped like claws. The Krell Dominion had arrived fully, and they came with war. People ran in every direction. Cars crashed, windows shattered. Sirens howled across the city. The ground vibrated harder with every step the Krell ships took as they descended. Evan felt the warm symbol in his chest beating fast. Almost panicked, the Zirian leader gripped his spear. Van, stay behind us, do not move. Evan swallowed. Are they really here to kill me? Yes, the leader said without hesitation. You carry the princess's bond. To destroy her future, they must destroy you. Evan's stomach twisted. I never asked for any of this. The leader looked at him gently. Rarely do heroes ask for destiny. Before Evan could reply, the first Krell soldier hit the ground. The creature was massive, 3 times the size of a human. Its armor was jagged and pulsing with red light. Its face had no eyes, only a mouth filled with sharp bone-like teeth. Black smoke rose from its body. The Krell lifted its heavy weapon and pointed it directly at Evan. It spoke in a deep, vibrating voice. Human, give us the bonded one. The Zirian leader stepped forward, his cape glowing blue. You will not touch him, the Krell growled. The air vibrated. The princess belongs to us. The boy dies. Without warning, the Krell lunged, but the Zirian warriors were faster. A wave of blue energy burst forward as 20 soldiers formed a shield wall around Evan. Their spears stabbed outward, clashing against the Krell's weapons with thunder-like force. Explosions filled the air. Smoke, fire, sparks. Evan ducked, covering his head. He had never seen a real battle, only movies, but this was different. Every sound was sharp. Every strike shook the ground. Every scream felt real in his bones. The Zirian leader shouted commands. Left flank, hold position. Shield. Units, protect the human. Do not allow the Krell to circle around. More Krell soldiers landed, creating small craters where they hit. Their weapons crackled with red electricity. Evan could feel their hatred even from a distance. They didn't see him as a boy. They saw him as a threat to their empire. One Krell soldier broke past the front line. It landed right in front of Evan. Evan's eyes widened. He couldn't breathe. The creature raised its blade ready to strike him down. No. A Zirian warrior yelled, jumping between them. The warrior blocked the blade with his spear, sparks flying everywhere. He pushed the Krell back, but the monster struck again and again. Stronger each time, the warrior was protecting Evan with everything he had. Evan shouted, Stop! Please stop fighting because of me. The Krell punched the warrior, sending him sliding across the ground. It raised its blade again, this time aiming straight for Evan's heart. Evan closed his eyes. A bright blue flash exploded behind him. When he opened them again, a shield of floating light was surrounding him. The warm symbol on his chest glowed through his shirt, shining brightly. The Krell stumbled back in shock. The Zirian leader gasped. The royal bond activated by itself? Evan looked down at his chest. I didn't do anything. That is why it awakened, the leader replied. The bond reacts to danger and to courage. The Krell roared in anger. The human carries royal power. Kill him now. More Krell soldiers rushed forward. The Zirian warriors formed a circle around Evan, spears glowing with stronger blue energy. The leader turned to Evan, voice urgent. You must trust us. We cannot let them break through. Evan nodded, though. His legs were shaking. Then the entire battlefield froze. A soft sound filled the air. A glowing light descended from the sky, gentle, bright, and blue. It pushed away smoke and dust. Even the Krell paused, confused. The Zirian leader whispered in awe, She is coming. The light grew brighter until a tall figure stepped out of it. Silver hair flowing like moonlight, blue gown shining like water, eyes glowing softly, skin healed and bright. It was Princess Ceril. She stood on the battlefield like a calm star in a storm. She wasn't weak anymore. She wasn't cold or dying. She radiated life and power. Her voice echoed across the city. Enough. The entire battlefield fell silent. Even the Krell hesitated. Serial walked forward slowly, her gaze landing on Evan first. Her eyes softened, full of gratitude. "You saved me," she said quietly. "Now I will save you." Evan felt his throat tighten. You're alive." She touched her chest, where a faint matching symbol glowed. "Because of you." The Krell leader growled, stepping forward. "Princess, return to us, or we destroy the human." Serial's soft expression vanished. Her eyes turned sharp. "No," she said calmly. "You will face me first." Her hands glowed brighter and brighter, until blue flames formed around her. The princess was no longer weak, no longer dying. She was reborn, and she was ready to fight. The battlefield glowed blue from Princess Serial's rising power. Her silver hair floated like soft light in the wind. The Krell soldiers stepped back, startled by the energy building around her, energy that had nearly died the night before. Evan watched her in shock. The fragile girl he covered with his blanket now stood like a living star. Eril lifted her glowing hands. Blue fire spread across the ground like water, forming a protective ring around Evan and the Zirayan warriors. The Krell leader hissed, "The princess has recovered." "This is impossible." Serial's eyes narrowed. It became possible because a human boy cared more for a stranger than for himself. Her gaze shifted to Evan, soft and warm. "You gave me something no medicine or machine could give. Hope." Evan felt warmth rush to his face. He wasn't used to praise. He wasn't used to being important. For most of his life, nobody noticed him. But here, in the middle of a galactic war, an alien princess was speaking to him like he mattered. For a moment, he felt stronger, but the moment broke quickly. The Krell let out a war cry. Hundreds charged at once, red electricity shaking the air. The Zirayan warriors moved instantly. "Protect the princess! Protect the boy!" Blue and red energy collided. The ground cracked. Buildings shook. The sky turned bright with explosions. Evan stayed inside the protective ring, but he felt useless. Warriors were fighting. People were screaming. The city was falling apart. Because of him, he grabbed his head. "This is all because I helped her. People are getting hurt." Serial looked at him with concern. "Evan, don't think that. This war started long before you were involved." "But I made it worse," Evan said, voice shaking. "They want me dead. The city is breaking apart because of me." "No," Serial said. "The Krell attack because they fear kindness." But Evan wasn't convinced. He saw a Zirayan warrior fall to the ground, armor broken. He saw smoke rise from a building. He saw people trapped in cars, crying for help, and something inside him snapped. He stepped outside the protective ring. A nearby Zirayan soldier shouted, "Evan, stop! It's dangerous!" But Evan didn't stop. A Krell turned toward him, lifting its massive weapon. Evan's heart hammered, his body shook. But his feet didn't stop moving. The Krell roared. Evan shouted, "Stop hurting others because of me." His voice echoed across the battlefield. Everyone froze. Irene, Krell, even Princess Seril. The symbol on Evan's chest burst with blue light. Brighter than ever. A wave of energy exploded outward from him, knocking several Krell soldiers back. The red glow in their armor flickered like dying fire. The Zirayan leader stared at Evan, stunned. The bond mark. It awakened fully. Serial stepped forward, her eyes wide with disbelief. He triggered the royal bond through raw emotion. No human has ever done that. Evan didn't understand what was happening. His chest felt warm, powerful, alive. His voice shook. "I don't want anyone hurt because of me," he said. "I'm tired of being weak. I'm tired of watching people suffer while I can't do anything." The Krell leader growled. "The human feels courage now. Kill him before it grows." Several Krell soldiers rushed toward Evan. Serial reacted instantly. She teleported in front of him. blue fire spiraling around her arms. Touch him, and I will burn your empire to ashes. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was dangerous. The Krell soldiers froze. Serial turned to Evan, her expression softening again. You did something powerful, she whispered. Your courage awakened the bond. You are no longer a simple boy. Evan looked at his hands. They glowed faint blue. I don't want power. I just want people safe. Serial smiled slightly. And that is why you deserve it. But their moment didn't last. The Krell leader roared, raising his blade high. Then let us test the human's courage. He slammed his weapon into the ground. A shockwave of red fire tore through the battlefield, knocking Xeran warriors down. The protective ring shattered. Smoke and heat filled the air. Evan shielded his face, coughing. Through the smoke, the Krell leader stepped closer. You will die today, human. The princess's bond ends with you. Evan forced himself to stand straight. He was scared, terrified. But he didn't run. For the first time in his life, he faced danger by choice. Princess Serial stood beside him. If he dies, she said, then I die with him. The Krell leader paused, surprised. You would fall for a human? Serial looked at Evan, her eyes filled with something old and deep. I owe him my life. I owe him my future. Evan's chest pulsed again, the symbol brighter than ever. The Xerian leader shouted, Princess, behind you! But it was too late. A massive Krell soldier tackled Serial from behind, knocking her away from Evan. She hit the ground hard, the blue flames around her flickering weakly. Serial! Evan screamed. The Krell leader lifted his blade. Evan stepped forward, not running, not hiding. His voice cracked, but it was full of fire. If you want to hurt her, you go through me. The battlefield was a storm, blue flames, red lightning, smoke rising like ghosts. Buildings burned, the air shook, and the ground cracked under the weight of two alien armies. In the middle of that chaos stood Evan, a thin, homeless boy with torn clothes, facing the Krell leader's massive blade. He should have run, he should have hidden. But he didn't, because Princess Serial had been hurt. Because people were in danger. Because something inside him refused to stay small anymore. The Krell leader laughed, a deep, bone-rattling sound. You, a weak human, think you can stop me? Evan's hands glowed faint blue, trembling as he lifted them. No, but I won't let you hurt her. The Krell raised his blade to strike, but before it could fall, a shockwave of pure blue light blasted across the battlefield. Everyone froze. The light came from Princess Ariel. She rose slowly from the ground, her entire body surrounded by a glowing aura. Her wounds closed instantly. Her eyes shone brighter than stars. Her hair flowed like silver fire. She wasn't just awake, she was angry, and her power was fully restored. She pointed her palm toward the Krell soldier who had struck her. Blue chains of energy wrapped around him and slammed him into a wall. Then she turned to the Krell leader. Touch him again, she whispered, and your empire dies tonight. The Krell leader stepped back for the first time. Serial moved toward Evan, her footsteps glowing. Evan, you stood for me when you had nothing. Not strength, not weapons, not power. Only courage. Evan swallowed, overwhelmed. I just didn't want you hurt. She smiled gently. And that is why you deserve everything. She lifted her hand. A small glowing stone appeared, round, smooth, shining like a tiny star. It floated above her palm. The Xerian warriors gasped. Leader fell to one knee. The royal bond core. Princess, no. That is too powerful for a human. Serial shook her head. He has already proven worthy. Evan looked confused. What is it? Serial stepped closer. This core is a piece of royal life energy. It is only given to heroes who save a royal soul. It will protect you, guide you, and make you strong. The Krell leader roared. If you give him that, he will become a threat. Serial ignored him. Her eyes softened as she looked at Evan. Last night when I was dying, you gave me warmth. Today, I give you life. The glowing core floated toward Evan. He panicked. Wait, what if I drop it? What if it hurts me? Serial placed a hand on his cheek, calming him. It cannot hurt you. It already chose you. The core pressed gently into Evan's chest. The symbol on his skin exploded with light. A bright pulse shot through the city, shaking windows and scattering dust. Krell soldiers stumbled back. Even the Zirian warriors shielded their eyes. Evan gasped. Warmth inside him spread through his arms, his legs, his heart. He felt stronger, but not in a scary way. More like something inside him had finally awakened. When the light faded, the core dissolved into him completely. Serial whispered, Now you carry the heart of a royal protector. Evan looked at his hands. They glowed brighter than ever. I feel different, more awake. Yes, Serial said. Your courage activated the bond. The core gives it form. But their moment shattered. The sky screamed open again. The Krell mothership, massive, black and burning red, aimed a new weapon at the city. A red beam charged at its center, growing bigger and brighter. A warrior shouted, Princess! That weapon will destroy everything within 10 miles. The Krell leader laughed loudly. If we cannot take the princess, we will burn her world. Serial's face grew cold. She lifted her hands, preparing a shield, but even she looked unsure. The weapon is too strong, she whispered. I can slow it, but not stop it. Evan felt fear again, but now he also felt the core glowing inside him like a heartbeat. He stepped forward. What if we stop it together? Serial looked at him in surprise. You, Evan, that weapon can burn planets. I know, he said softly, but so can hope. The Zirian leader stepped forward. Princess, if the boy carries the bond core, he may be able to strengthen your shield. Serial hesitated, then nodded firmly. Then, take my hand. Evan grabbed her hand tightly. Their symbols glowed in perfect sync. A giant wave of blue light rose from the ground, forming a shield above the entire city. The Krell mothership fired. The red beam hit the shield with a deafening crack. The force was unbelievable. Serial gritted, her teeth. Evan, focus! Evan screamed as energy surged through him. The core inside him glowed hot, then hotter, turning white-blue. The shield brightened. The red beam slowed, then it collapsed. The energy broke apart into sparks and vanished. The city was saved. The Krell soldiers stumbled back, shocked. I looked at Evan with awe. You did it. You actually did it. Evan smiled weakly. We did it. But the Krell leader was not finished. He pointed the mothership at them again. This time, he growled, we fire with full power. Serial's face changed. Fear. Real fear. Evan's heart pounded. The next attack wouldn't be survivable. The sky turned red as the Krell mothership charged its final attack. This time the energy was brighter, heavier, more dangerous, enough to destroy half the city and burn everything around it. Princess Serial stepped forward, her face pale. This attack, even together, we may not stop it. Evan's heart tightened. Then what do we do? The Zirian leader lowered his head. Princess, if that beam hits the ground, millions will die. Serial shook as she looked up at the glowing red weapon. I can try to deflect it, but it will take all of my power. I may not survive it. Evan grabbed her hand quickly. No, we finish this together. But Serial looked away. You carry the bond core. If your heart breaks, the core breaks too. You could die. Evan took a deep breath. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. All my life, I felt small. Forgotten, invisible. Nobody ever looked at me. Nobody ever cared, but you made me feel seen. Serial's eyes softened. And I won't let the world that ignored me be destroyed, Evan continued. Not when I finally have something worth fighting for. The princess touched his cheek. Evan Hawley, you are braver than kings. But before she could say more, the Krell fired. A massive red beam shot toward Earth. The air shook. The ground cracked. Cars lifted off the street from the energy pressure. The Krell leader roared, "And the human! And the princess!" Evan and Serial stood side by side. Their glowing symbols sensed again. Evan shouted, "Ready?" Serial squeezed his hand, "Always." Together, they lifted their free hands toward the sky. A giant blue shield burst upward. Larger and stronger than before, fueled by their bond. The red beam slammed into it. The impact was like a planet exploding. Light blinded the city. Buildings shook. Warriors fell to their knees. Even the Krell soldiers staggered. Serial screamed, her energy draining fast. Evan felt pain shoot through his chest. The core inside him burned hot, pushing his body to its limit. He cried out, "I can't hold it." Serial turned to him, tears glowing in her eyes. "Take my strength." She pushed energy into him. Too much, too fast. Blue flames wrapped around Evan. His feet lifted off the ground. He felt power like a storm inside him. The Zirian leader gasped. "He is merging with the core." Evan screamed with everything he had. The shield turned brighter, now a blinding white blue. Cracks appeared in the red beam. Serial whispered, "Evan, you are not alone." Her voice gave him strength he didn't know he had. He pushed harder. The shield burst. Outward. The red beam shattered like glass. A shockwave exploded across the sky, hitting the Krell mothership. The ship broke apart, splitting into two pieces. Then four, then dust. The sky turned quiet. The battlefield glowed blue for a few seconds. Then went still. The Krell soldiers dropped their weapons. Without their leader or mothership, they had no fight left. They fled through the remaining portal, disappearing into darkness. Evan floated gently to the ground. His legs shook. His breathing was weak. His vision blurred. Zerial caught him before he collapsed. "Evan, stay with me." He tried to smile. Did we win?" Serial wiped a tear from her cheek. "Yes. Thanks to you." The Zirian warriors gathered around them. One by one, they knelt, not just to Serial, but to Evan. The leader bowed his head deeply. "Human boy, you saved our princess. You saved this world. And you defeated the Krell. We honor you." Evan blinked, dizzy. "No one has ever bowed to me before." Serial laughed softly. "Then get used to it." She placed her forehead gently against his. "You are the bravest soul I have ever met." But Evan felt the bond core fading inside him. "Serial, I think something's wrong." Serial placed a hand on his chest. Her expression changed, fear again. "The core, it's breaking. You use too much energy." Evan swallowed. "Am I dying?" Serial shook her head hard. "No, I won't let you. I refuse." She lifted both hands and poured her own life energy into him. Blue flames surrounded them both. The Zirian leader stepped forward. "Princess, careful." "If you give too much," Serial shouted. "He saved me first. I will save him now." The flames sank into Evan's chest. His breathing steadied. His color returned. The bond core stabilized. Evan opened his eyes slowly. Serial smiled through tears. "You're safe." The warriors cheered. For the first time in his life, Evan felt like he belonged somewhere. Like the world finally saw him, finally needed him, finally valued him. Serial offered her hand. "Come with us, Evan Hale, to the Zirian Empire. You will have a home, a family, education, respect, and protection, forever." Evan looked up at the sky. The same sky he used to sleep under alone. He took her hand. I finally found where I belong. The warriors opened a glowing portal. Cyril and Evan stepped inside together. The humans of Earth watched, amazed, as the boy who once had nothing left the world as a legend. He gave one blanket and gained a galaxy.